Review code provided by WayForward for ladiesgamers.com, where you can soon find my written review. The Mighty Switch Force collection is a compilation of 4 games in the puzzle platforming series, all of which are developed and published by WayForward. Those being the original Mighty Switch Force, Mighty Switch Force 2, Mighty Switch Force Hyperdrive Edition, and Mighty Switch Force Academy. In the first game, the Hooligan sisters have escaped custody, and it's up to the police officer Patricia Wagon to catch them. Using her police siren, she can switch up elements around her, such as platforms that fade in and out and launch pads. The game has nothing in the way of tutorial, but it gradually adds new mechanics in throughout the game. These different mechanics start needing to be used together to beat certain parts of the levels. Often you'll have to make use of the enemies to achieve your objectives, such as launching the bombs to break blocks you can't shoot. In every level, you will have to collect the 5 Hooligan sisters, who may be plainly displayed or hiding behind breakable blocks or other objects. After which you must retreat to your robot pal, who will extract you from the level. Paddy can only take 3 hits, but there are some health pickups throughout which she says are yummy. Most levels also have a few checkpoints for when you get crushed by a block or hit by spikes. However, if you do die, you lose the entire level and have to start again. So it's tough but somewhat fair. Each level also has par times. You do not need to beat the levels in time to finish them. However, you can go back and try to beat them within that time limit. These require nearly perfect performance. There are 16 main levels with 5 bonus levels. The Hyperdrive Edition is a HD port of the original Mighty Switch Force. Instead of pixel graphics, it uses an illustrated style. Personally, I prefer the pixels, but this version has more unlockables, such as a pixel skin for Patricia. This version of the game also boasts twice the amount of levels of the original. These extra levels are harder remixes of the original ones. Mighty Switch Force 2 is the sequel to the original, in which the Hooligan sisters have been reformed, but Planet Land is now ablaze almost everywhere. Acting as a firefighter, Patricia now has to rescue these sisters from the flames. Instead of a gun, she's equipped with a hose, which is used to douse flames and break mud walls. You still make use of the Switch and original mechanics, but there are now more elements, such as enemies that need to be filled with water front first, so they burst. As well as par times, there is now another bonus objective, which are hidden babies that need rescuing. By rescuing, I mean kicking them to safety.
You're safe!
The par times do not require the baby, so you can obtain that on different attempts. Being a sequel, it is definitely a bit harder than the first, especially with the hose. Fast enemies are still in this, so you have to set up your shot right. Mighty Switch Force Academy has multiplayer, with up to 4 people can cooperate in levels together. The levels all take place on a single screen, which might be a bit troublesome for some people's eyes. It is based on the mechanics of the original game. Cooperative play can be a bit hard, as you can both switch things and accidentally or purposely kill each other, making communication particularly important in this game. There are 20 levels, with another 5 levels putting stages from the first game onto one screen. The classic levels are particularly nice, and in some cases are actually easier that way. There is also a versus mode, which involves completing to collect Hooligan sisters and making it to the robot before it moves. However, you cannot switch any blocks. You can shoot each other, forcing them to respawn. We didn't find it very enjoyable, as it's first to 3 and it takes quite a long time for one of us to grab the girl and get to the mech without being shot by the other. Regarding presentation, the pixel graphics in the games look great on televisions and handheld. The Hyperdrive Edition, having been made for HD displays, also looks nice. They have a decent soundtrack that fits the theme of the game, and I didn't have any technical problems with any of them. The collection doesn't come with any extra content beyond the 4 games, and the only one in the series that's missing is Mighty Switch Force Hose It Down, that being a non-platforming but still a puzzle game, probably why it wasn't included. It is interesting that they included the first game when they have the Hyperdrive version, although that one does have more unlockables, which gives you more incentive to do better. My only disappointment with the collection being the versus mode in Mighty Switch Force Academy. Depending on your region, it is also probably the most affordable way to get these games, The games are only a few hours depending on your puzzle solving abilities at least. The series does a great job of teaching you the mechanics without actually telling you anything. I'm not much of a puzzle or platforming person, but I was able to enjoy these games quite well. I almost wish I'd given the series a chance sooner. I'm not sure about giving a collection an overall score, but I say most of the games are about an 8 out of 10, and Mighty Switch Force Academy being about a 7 out of 10. I just wouldn't recommend getting the collection if you are solely interested in the multiplayer aspects of the Academy game.